What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on. God, I'm so used to saying AEW. The Miami Dolphins. It is Monday, September 4th, 2023. I mean, Jesus Christ, all I've been doing basically the past couple weeks is making AEW content with All In last weekend, All Out last night, everything going on with CM Punk. I feel like everything I've been doing lately is AEW. And that's going to change because now that we have All In, or now that I have All In and All Out behind me, football season is here. We are 3 nights away from opening kickoff, and we are 6 days away until the Miami Dolphins take the field. 6 days away until the Miami Dolphins take the field. They are going to be traveling to Los Angeles, which I expect them to travel out probably tomorrow, which would probably be the smart thing to do, knowing that it's a West Coast game. It's the only West Coast game for the Miami Dolphins this season, which I absolutely love. And I love that we're getting it out of the way this week in week 1. But ladies and gentlemen, I got so much to talk about today with the Miami Dolphins. I was going to make 2 separate videos with my season expectations for the entire team and basically predicting the record, and season expectations for Tua Tagovailoa. I was going to make 2 separate videos, one about the team and one about Tua. But I've got so much other stuff playing this week, and I've got so much going on off camera that I'm just going to combine the 2 videos today. I'm going to let you guys know the schedule this week. We are going to do season preview today. Thursday, we're going to do picks for week 1, and I'm going to be doing picks every week this year. This year, I'm going to be doing picks for every game, every week, and at the end of the season, after every week, I'm going to keep track of my record and see how I do, and I'm going to let you guys know weekly. So that the first picks video is going to be Thursday. Friday is the preview for the Miami Dolphins versus Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Sunday afternoon is the Hype Me Up pregame show live here on the Big Fight Field channel. The first live pregame video for myself. I started it last year, kind of late. It was actually the Chargers game that I started doing pregame videos. And now I'm bringing it back, and I'm going to start week 1 against the Chargers. The Hype Me Up pregame show here on the Big Fight Field channel, which will be live about 2 hours before the game starts. And then Sunday, 4:25, the Miami Dolphins play the Los Angeles Chargers. And after that game, I will do the first post-game recap video of the entire season. I'm so excited. It's finally here. We've had to wait since January 15th, the last time the Miami Dolphins were on the field for a meaningful game. I don't count preseason. I just don't. It's boring. It's not meaningless, but I just don't count preseason. The real shit starts in Los Angeles on Sunday. And if you realize, for wrestling fans watching this, I didn't say AEW. I said nothing AEW related. That's because I've decided that I'm going to take a little break. Not huge, but a little break doing AEW content. The next 2 weeks, I will not be doing AEW content here on the Big Fight Field channel because I've got stuff going on outside my life, off camera, and I'm going to be strictly focused when I am making content here on the channel. I am going to be strictly focused on the Miami Dolphins. So the next AEW video I'm probably going to do, the next show I'll probably review is Grand Slam in about 2 weeks. So you guys got that to look forward to. And if you haven't already, I've got a lot of AEW content that I've done lately, man. All In review. My reaction to CM Punk and Jack Perry brawl at All In. CM Punk being fired from AEW. Last night's All Out review. All of that is available on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. I'm not going to put it in the last 20 seconds of the video because it's not an AEW video, and I like to separate AEW from my other content that I make on the channel. So football is going to be strictly with football, and AEW is going to be strictly with AEW. So if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out all 4 of those videos. Most importantly, last night's All Out review, which was a really good pay-per-view. Let me take a sip of my water before I get into Tua Tagovailoa. And yes, I am a Phillies fan, but I've decided to wear an Orioles shirt today. So, there you go. Let's dive into the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, and my expectations for Tua Tagovailoa going into the season. And before I get into that, I'm going to read you some stats from last year. The 2022 season for Tua Tagovailoa, he missed 5 games. He didn't play against the Jets, the Vikings, the Patriots, the Jets again, and the Bills in the playoffs. He missed 5 full games last year. Tua only played 12 games. And Tua has not played a full season this year. He's not played a full season for the Miami Dolphins in his career. And his first year, he was getting benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick. In 2021, he got hurt from week 2 all the way until week 6. He came back and he played the rest of the season. The Dolphins finished 9-8 and did not make the playoffs. And last year, we all know what happened. Concussion. When he got the concussion against the Bengals, the NFL changed their whole concussion protocol. They have a spotter now at the games, at every single game, in case an NFL player does get a concussion. Tua suffered 2 concussions last year. He suffered one against the Bengals, and he suffered one against the Packers, which he was sidelined for the rest of the season. Skylar Thompson was the quarterback to end the season. Got us to the playoffs, lost to the Buffalo Bills by 3 points. Still irks me alive. Still bothers the shit out of me that they have 4 seconds on the play clock and they're still in the huddle getting plays. That all changes Sunday. That all changes. That all gets out of my mind on Sunday. I've watched that playoff game. I've gone on YouTube and I've watched highlights of that playoff game about 7 times in the last month. It's crazy. I know that game basically inside and out. That playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. But let's get into Tua's stats from last year. Tua, in 12 games, threw for 3,548 yards. He had a passer rating of 105.5. He had 25 touchdowns, and he had 8 interceptions. His PFF grade in 2020 was 65.4, which was 27th in the NFL. In 2021, his PFF grade was 69.4, which was 22nd in the NFL. And last season, his PFF grade was 81.9, which was 9th in the NFL. So according to PFF, which carries every single stat in the NFL basically, Tua was the 9th best quarterback in the NFL. And we go to last year, PFF's highest grades, 85.2 against the Ravens, which is the 6th touchdown game, scoring scoring 6 touchdowns, scoring 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Um, the Lions, he had a really good game. I'm not going to go over every single game, but looking at PFF's grades, basically remembering from last year, he was really good against the Ravens. He was okay against the Steelers. He was really good against the Lions. He was really good against the Bears. He was really good against the Browns. He was really good in the snow game against the Buffalo Bills. And in the first half against the Packers, he played great. And it all went downhill from there. He threw 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. And that was it for his season. So, revenge tour for Tua Tagovailoa because his season did not end good at all last year. We look at some other stats from last year. Passing yards, 12th. Air yards, 3,733, 14th. Money throws, he had 40, which was second in the NFL. Pressured throws, he had 65, which was 21st, so he's under a pressure a lot. There's no other quarterback in the NFL who needs more protection going into this season than Tua Tagovailoa. Danger plays, which is basically dangerous passes, 30, which is 13th. Interceptable passes, 27, 8th in the NFL. That's got to change. I know wide receivers get to their spots, and last year it was a lot of spot throwing from Tua, which the wide receivers did great last year, and Tua was great where he needed to get the ball. He's quick. He reads defenses. For all the people who say Tua doesn't know how to read defenses, Tua's good at reading defenses, but he's got to be more careful with the football. And you can't ignore that because last year there was a lot of horrible passes that he made. Pittsburgh Steelers game, Baltimore Ravens game, even though he threw 6 touchdowns. Chicago Bears game, up 3, 3rd and 8, underthrown, almost intercepted. Can't have that. So he made some shaky decisions. He made some shaky passes, and that's got to change going into this season. Passing touchdowns, he had 25, which is 8th in the NFL. Yards per attempt, 8.9. First, everybody going into last season had the whole agenda of check down Tua. That changed very quickly, that was first. Adjusted yards per attempt, 8.8, which was first in the NFL. Air yards per attempt, 9.3, which was second in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. Best ball points added, 44.7, which is 11th. I don't really think that's important. This is all fantasy stuff. Accuracy rating, 7.9, which is 7th. True completion percentage, 69.6, which is 20th. Deep ball completion percentage, 50, first in the NFL. So my man was great with the deep ball. And going into last year, the deep ball, everybody was critiquing Tua can't throw deep. He's not going to make Hill better. He's not going to make Jalen Waddle better, which Jalen Waddle had a great first season with Tua when he was a rookie. Tyreek Hill nearly had 2,000 yards last year. He was basically the best wide receiver in the NFL if it wasn't for Justin Jefferson. And there's some things that he needs to fix. And another agenda that I want to address that Dolphin fans and fans around the NFL talked about this year is Tua Tagovailoa versus top 10 defenses. Now, Tua did play some really good defenses last year. The Patriots, They have a top 10 defense in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills have a really good defense. He did not play against the Jets last year. The Steelers had a really good defense. The 49ers, which was a bad game from him, the 49ers were the best defense in the NFL this year. People love the agenda that Tua cannot play good when he's facing a top 10 defense. When he's playing a shitty defense like the Detroit Lions, like the Chicago Bears, like the Houston Texans, he will carve you up. That's what basically everyone is saying. And I'm here to tell you that Tua, last year, against good defenses, he went 86 for 127. He had a completion percentage of 67.7. He had 1,102 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And I believe that 1 interception was against the 49ers, which is actually false because he had 2 interceptions that game. So that's basically 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions because Tua threw 2 picks against the 49ers last season. Now, I want to go over some good defenses that Tua is going to be facing. This year. The Chargers are 16th in defense, so they're not a top 10 defense. I would say the good defenses that Tua is going to face, that the first 4 games, 3 out of the 4 teams that we're playing have really good defenses. The New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos, and the Buffalo Bills. So people are not talking about this enough, but the first 4 games for the Miami Dolphins are going to be hard. They're going to be a tough challenge. 3 of the first 4 games are on the road, and 3 of the first 4 games are against really good defenses, which are the teams I just told you. So what are my expectations for Tua this year? Then we'll get into the rest of the team and we'll get into my record prediction. My expectations for Tua this year is he needs to play at least 14 games, 14 to 15 games. He needs to have as healthy of season as he could possibly have. I don't want to watch him lay on the field on national television like I did last year against the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't want to watch him throw 3 interceptions against the Green Bay Packers because he's concussed. It's preseason, so I'm not going to take this into, oh my God, it's working. Tua did take jiu-jitsu, and he learned properly how to fall in jiu-jitsu class. In the preseason games that he played against the Houston Texans and Jacksonville, it does seem like it is working, but my assumption is it's preseason. The starters aren't really playing. Players might not try to be playing as hard outside of the players that are fighting for jobs. So we'll see how this all goes ahead in the regular season. If this jiu-jitsu really did help Tua. And it's not really just concussions that need to be worked on, that he don't need to get this year. He's had other injuries in the past as well. He had the hip problem in college. He had a finger issue in 2021. He was out for 3 games because of ribs in 2021. And last year was obviously concussions. If another problem pops up, that's just as worse as last year. And this is a huge year for Tua because if he's healthy, in my opinion, if he plays at least 14 to 15 games, the Miami Dolphins have a great season. They make the playoffs, and they win a playoff game Tua is getting paid this year. Now, I don't know if he's going to take, I don't know if they're going to pay him Jalen Hurts money. I don't know if they're going to pay him Justin Herbert money. But if those things happen that I just said, he will get paid. And I think it would be somewhere in between the Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones money. Daniel Jones is getting paid 4 years, $160 million. Justin Herbert's getting paid 5 years, $262.5 million. I could see somewhere in that $200 million range for Tua, which is not bad. They do not need to go all out and break the bank for Tua like the Buffalo Bills did for Josh Allen and the Chargers did for Justin Herbert, because you see it with the Bills now. They had problem with free agency this year because they have to pay Josh Allen a whole bag, and they really didn't do much in the offseason. They still have holes on defense that they did not fill. And it's not a problem this year for the Chargers, but in the future, it's going to be a problem when they are out in free agency and they have to fix their defense or they have to fix their offensive line. I'm not saying they have to, but it's just a scenario. But they're paying Justin Herbert $262.5 million. That's going to be an issue. So I'm not saying we have to break the bank for Tua, because if we did, that's going to make our free agency situation even worse. So we'll see what happens. But I do think it's a huge year for Tua, because if he does the things that I said, he's going to get paid. And my expectations for him is to play 14 to 15 games. I would say around 32 to 35 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. If he does that, that's a great season. That is a great season for Tua Tagovailoa. And he's going to be here next year regardless, because in the offseason, the Dolphins and Chris Grier picked up his fifth-year option. So let's say unfortunately the same thing happens as last year. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen. He's still going to be the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins going into next year, because Chris Grier picked up his fifth-year option this offseason. But let's hope none of that happens. Let's hope he has a great season, which I have full confidence that my man is going to have a great season. And I'm excited to see what he does in year 2 of this offense. I think it's for the first time that he's learning the same playbook that he had last year. Every year in Alabama, he had the same offensive coordinator. He came in with Miami, and Chan Gailey was the offensive coordinator. Then in 2021, Chan Gailey got fired, and I think they did Eric Sudsville as the offensive coordinator. Then Eric Sudsville got fired, Brian Flores got fired, and Mike McDaniels, the head coach. Mike McDaniels running the offense. Last year was year 1 in the Mike McDaniels system, and Tua Tagovailoa is going back in the Mike McDaniels system. And this is the first time since probably high school that Tua is going to be in the same playbook for a second year in a row, and I think that's going to enhance his game rather than decrease his game. I think him being in the same playbook for a second year in a row is going to help him more than it harms him. So those are my expectations for Tua. Let's get into the expectations for the team. And for the team as a whole, for defense, I think the defense is going to be better I think the defense is going to be better this year than they were last year. The defense has studs all over the field. Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Bradley Chubb, David Long, who I love now, Kader Kohu, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard. This defense is a bunch of dogs. And last week, they traded away Noah Igbenogany to the Dallas Cowboys for Kelvin Joseph. And I thought maybe Noah gets the opposite side of Xavier Howard week 1, but I think that's going to end up being Eli Apple. I'm not thrilled with it, but it's what we have right now because Jalen Ramsey is sidelined with an injury. But Eli Apple is a vet. He's played a lot of games. He started a lot of games. So we'll see how it goes. But that's my guess is who's going opposite of Xavier Howard to start, and it would be Eli Apple. But I think the defense is going to be really good this year. And the main difference maker is Vic Fangio. Josh Boyer had no idea what he was doing last year, and you were getting in a ton of shootouts because the defense was bad. And there was games last year, like the Buffalo Bills in December, where the offense was great, but the defense lost you the game because on the last drive with 6 minutes to go, the Bills started at their own 3-yard line, and they literally marched right down the field for a 20-yard field goal to win the game. That can't happen, and I don't think it's going to happen with Vic Fangio. I think Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive minds in the game. Vic Fangio is creative. We've seen a small taste of what the Vic Fangio defense can do in preseason. I'm excited to see what he does in the regular season, and I think it's going to be good, man. I think it's going to be good. They have potential to be a top 10 defense, maybe even a top 5 defense in the NFL. And when I hear that, that's exciting. The most concerned spot I have for the Miami Dolphins is obviously the offensive line. As of right now, the O-line is Teron Armstead, more than likely Isaiah Wynn at left guard, Connor Williams at center, Robert Hunt at right guard, and Austin Jackson at right tackle. The depth scares me. God forbid Teron Armstead goes down. Or God forbid Connor Williams goes down. We are fucked. The offensive line is fucked. Because they traded Dan Feeney, the backup center, to the Chicago Bears. And their backup center, their undrafted center, their undrafted rookie who's a center, is on the practice squad. So if Connor Williams goes down, they have no backup center. And McDaniels came out and said, Lester Cotton and Liam Eichenberg, they've taken snaps at center. And it's like, so you're going to make a position player, a guard, play center? They did the same thing last year with Connor. Now, it worked with Connor, but who's to say it's not going to work with Lester Cotton, and who's to say it's not going to work with Liam Eichenberg? It scares me. It honestly scares me. And, we're going up against some pretty good defensive lines the first couple weeks. Joey Bosa, Matthew Judon. The Denver Broncos have a good defense. So it's scary. It's scary. But let's get into the schedule. Let's get into my record predictions for the Miami Dolphins this season. And this doesn't mean that throughout the season I'm going to be like, I think they're going to win, because anything could fucking happen in the season. Week 12, Aaron Rodgers could be on a fucking slump. The Jets could suck, and I could change my pick if I want to. Or week 14 against the Titans. We might not expect the Titans to be good this year, but, they're hanging around, they're in the race, and they're going to give us an interesting battle. So this could change, but this is my prediction going into the season, barring no injuries happen. But this is the NFL, and injuries happen all the time. Who's to say that, again, Derrick Henry's not playing week 14 or the Dallas Cowboys aren't good in Week 16, and Dak Prescott is throwing so many interceptions. So let's get this bad boy started. Week 1 at SoFi Stadium against the Chargers. And I'm not going to talk about these games much. I'm not going to go in depth into it because throughout the season, I'm going to be doing previews every week. So there's no point of me going in depth when later on in the season, I'm going to be doing previews for these games every single week. There's no point. So I'm just going to give you a brief rundown and little nuggets here and there. But Week 1 against the Chargers, this is not going to be an easy game. Vegas actually has us as the underdogs. So, yes, we are the underdog going into this game against the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3 points against the Miami Dolphins. And I say for this game, it'll be the first game. The defense is going to have to gel with each other, get used to Vic Fangio's calls. And there's a couple games on here where if you had Jalen Ramsey to start the season, if you had Jalen Ramsey in these games, it would be a huge deciding factor. And this is one of the games. I feel like if the Dolphins had Jalen Ramsey, I would feel a little bit more comfortable about this. But the Chargers have so many good weapons for Justin Herbert. They have Austin Eckler, who's a good pass back. They have Keenan Allen. They have Mike Williams. They have Quentin Johnson. They have Gerald Everett. And they're healthy. And the Dolphins aren't even healthy going into the season. Teron Armstead is banged up. Shocker. He's saying he's playing Week 1, but he might not be 100%. That would suck. That would suck. And Jalen Ramsey's obviously not playing. I'm going to talk more about this game on Friday, but if I had to give a prediction, I'm going to say the Chargers take this Week 1 over the Dolphins. So we're starting out the season 0-1. Then we go into Foxborough, New England Patriots for Sunday Night Football, and I think we take that W, and the Dolphins go 1-1. Now this one's interesting. Home opener, Week 3, against the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson was horrible last year. A horrible year for Russell Wilson, and the main reason was because of Nathaniel Hackett. And Nathaniel Hackett was a disaster of a head coach for the Denver Broncos. Is Sean Payton going to be able to come in and fix things for Russell Wilson? How is the Denver Broncos offense going to look so early? They start the season against the Raiders and the Commanders. So I can see them being 2-0 going into this game. But again, what's interesting about this game is we don't know who the Denver Broncos are this early into the season. So I actually think this is going to be a pretty good game for the Miami Dolphins. I am going to say we're going to take this one because it's going to be hot as balls this game probably. And when you're playing in that heat, the advantage goes to the home team. So even though I do think this is going to be a very good game, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. So we're 2-1. Week 4 in Buffalo against the Buffalo Bills on October 1st. I think we're going to split with the Bills for this season, and I'm going to give the Buffalo Bills this win right here. Again, if we had Jalen Ramsey for this game, I would feel a little bit more confident, but I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. So the Dolphins are 2-2. Week 5 at Hard Rock Stadium against the New York Giants. Don't sleep on the Giants, man. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller's looked great in preseason. this could be a tough game for the Miami Dolphins. But again, home field advantage. That game is going to be hot as hell. I am going to take the Miami Dolphins over the New York Giants. Week 6 at Hard Rock Stadium once again, this time against the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, rookie quarterback, already got a receiver banged up, and DJ Shark, I don't know if he's going to be playing this game. They got Miles Sanders at running back. Their number one receiver is Adam Thielen. Their receiving core is not that great. I do think that Vic Fangio is going to do what Vic Fangio does, and that's get into rookie quarterback's head. He's going to confuse him, and I think the Miami Dolphins defense is going to have a really good game that day, and I think the Dolphins offense is going to be clicking. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins against the Panthers at home, and the Dolphins will be 4-2 going into Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field on October 22nd for Sunday Night Football. And this is possibly a game that I will be at. I don't have tickets yet. I'm trying to make plans, but this is a game that I might be at. I will let you guys know soon if I'm going to be at this game or not. But this is one of our more difficult games of the entire season. Jalen Hurts proved to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year. The running game is great. Dallas Goedert's good. They have a great receiving core. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. They have the best defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL. The players they lost this offseason, they filled holes for them, and they got some good replacements. And in my honest opinion, the overall best team going into this season is the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going to give the Dolphins a loss for this one, and we're 4-3 after we lose to the Eagles. Week 8 at home against the New England Patriots. The Patriots never play good when they come down to Hard Rock Stadium. That's a win. They are 5-3. And then Germany, Week 9 against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you guys may think I'm crazy, but the Chiefs have to travel West Coast the week before this Germany game to play the Denver Broncos. They have to play the Broncos, then fly back to Kansas City, grab their stuff, and fly all the way to Germany. This may fuck up with their schedule, and this may not be great for them. And I could see this being a game where people don't expect the Miami Dolphins to come out on top. And for my upset, I'm taking the Miami Dolphins to beat the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. And that is going to be a huge win for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I do have a game that most Dolphins fans probably expect the Dolphins to win, but they'll come out sluggish and they'll lose. I do have them losing one of those games. But I have them going into Germany and beating the Chiefs. And going into the bye week, they're sitting nice at 6-3. If they're 6-3 going into the bye week, I will take it. They were 7-3 going into the bye last year, and then shit hit the fan. So we get back from the bye, and we play the Las Vegas Raiders in Miami. And by this time, we should know who the Las Vegas Raiders are, and we should know if they're going to be a contending team or if they're not going to be a contending team. They got Josh Jacobs. They got Devontae Adams, but their defense sucks. And I think that's going to be a good day for Tua Tagovailoa, and I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to win that game and go 7-3. Week 12 on Black Friday at MetLife Stadium against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. I am taking the Jets to win this game. So we are 7-4. And then week 13, December 3rd, against the Washington Commanders. A little bit ago, I said I expect a game to happen where people expect the Miami Dolphins to win, and they come out and they just don't play great. It's not their day. And this is the game. In Washington, I know they got issues. They might have problems with the quarterback. Sam Howell is the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders this year. But their defense is really good. It's going to be cold. And I think this is a day where the defense for Washington gets the better of Tua. Again, just because I'm saying this now doesn't mean come December 3rd, I think it's going to happen still. Or come the week we play Washington, I'll be like, oh, remember when I said in the season preview the Dolphins are going to lose to Washington? I'm sticking to my guns. I could change. I could change my thought process on every game throughout the season. But for right now, I'm going to give this one a loss. So we're 7-5 after the Commanders. Then we have a 3-game home stretch, with the first game being December 11th on Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. And that is a game I will more than likely be at. I do not have tickets for it yet, but I'm expecting to get them pretty soon. That is a game that more than likely I will be at December 11th against the Tennessee Titans. And again, we will know who the Titans are by this time. Are they a contending team? Is Ryan Tannehill still the quarterback? Has Will Levis taken over the duties of Ryan Tannehill? Is Derrick Henry healthy? Is DeAndre Hopkins healthy? Time will tell. But I'm going to give this one to the Miami Dolphins. And we're 8-5 after this game. Then we beat the Jets week 15 at Hard Rock Stadium. We are 9-5. And this is a tough one to call. Week 16 on Christmas Eve against Dallas. I think the defense for Dallas, especially their defensive line, could give the Dolphins offense fits. But I also think the defense for the Dolphins could get the better of the Dallas Cowboys. I can see this one being a low-scoring game, like the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. And I'm going to give this one to the Miami Dolphins. Again, it could change. But for right now, I'm giving this game to the Dolphins. And going into the last 2 games of the season, the Dolphins are 10-5. And we go to Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and we play the Ravens in Baltimore. And this could be a huge game. A huge game for both teams. And I think at this time, the Ravens are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to be crawling. They're going to be scratching hard. They're going to want to get one of those final wild card spots. It's going to be a cold game, New Year's Eve. I think the Ravens get the better of us this year. Again, it could change. Last 2 seasons, when it comes to the end of the season, Lamar Jackson has not been healthy. So we'll see if he's able to stay healthy and be on the field come the last month. But for right now, I'm taking the Ravens. And at week 18 at Hard Rock Stadium. This could be for the division against the Buffalo Bills. This could end up being one of the bigger games of the season. We don't know yet because it's September. It's early September. But who knows how things going to be? Who knows how things are going to be come January 7th when we play the Buffalo Bills. But I'm going to say we split with the Bills and we beat them the final week. So I have the Miami Dolphins going 11-6 this season, which I think would be a very good season. But the main goal, obviously, we want to win the Super Bowl. That's everybody's dream. That's everybody's goal. But realistically, my goal for the 2023 Miami Dolphins is to win a fucking playoff game. Last year, it was to make the playoffs. And while it wasn't pretty, we got there. And it was successful for that reason. We got to the playoffs. And with all those injuries, to get to the playoffs, we did what we had to do. It wasn't pretty, but we got there. So last year was a successful season. This season, getting to the playoffs is not good enough. You need to get to the playoffs, and you need to win a playoff game. The Miami Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 23 years. Over 2 decades, the Miami Dolphins have not won a playoff game. This is the team to do it. This team right here is too talented not to make a run in the playoffs, not to win a playoff game. So for this year, my goal for the Miami Dolphins is to win a playoff game. I'm getting out of here. We talked about a lot today. We talked about expectations for Tua, expectations for the team, and my record predictions for this season. I'm getting out of here. I will see you Thursday for NFL Week 1 predictions here on the Big Fight Field channel. I will see you Thursday. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Football is back. I'm so excited about it, man. Sunday cannot come soon enough. It's going to be a really long 6 days. Sunday can't come soon enough. But I am going to be here Thursday with my Week 1 NFL predictions. Friday, previewing the Miami Dolphins against the Los Angeles Chargers. And Sunday, we'll do a pregame show, and then we'll do a postgame recap after the game on the channel. Comment down below your expectations for Tua Tagovailoa, your expectations for the 2023 Miami Dolphins. Let me know down below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. And I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go chill out for the rest of the day. And yeah, that's all I got, man. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you Thursday for my Week 1 NFL predictions. Have a good night, stay safe, and as always, stay classy. I'm out. Peace.